All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Refining Entries. And in this one, we will take a look at the GBP AUD 2022, the month of February. So, the February itself generated 16.1%. It was a very good month. Um, Looking at the historical data. So let's go ahead and let's go through these trades so we can take a look at them and let me explain the reasonings why the trade was good and how it ended. So very first position, it was a very quick one and active one, and once again by looking at it, I believe you already can notice why this entry is not ideal, but it's still a valid entry. And you may ask me why we took this trade. Basically, uh, you were able to take this trade because you had a fantastic January. Yeah, January itself generated some good returns, so you are able to take this trade. Yeah, I mean, usually, as you know, when you're just getting started or you don't have a profits locked uh, already, then it's not ideal to enter on such candlesticks when the entry candle itself isn't super close to the actual session high or low, yeah, depending on your position side. So in this case, we had session high, session low. London showed some movement, some push to the upside, retest of the session low, and then following after the retest candlestick, next candle showed a nice strong bullish candle. Also, it closed above both of the EMAs with a nice body closure, but it's not actually touching or is super close to the actual session low. So it's not an ideal entry, but it's a possible one and a valid one. So for the backtesting purposes, you should take all of the trades that you can, especially when you're backtesting, yeah, just to get as much data as possible. And in this case, as you can see, the position went well. We had a retest of the session high, some rejection, and then it exploded. And I believe this candle, once again, is due to the fundamental factors that played out in our favor. Yeah, but the chart itself suggested that this is a valid long position. Next trade. This one was a very slow one, a boring one. Once again, what happened? We had a session low, session high. London, we saw a breakout above the session high right away. The first candlestick of London session, a nice strong bullish closure above the session high. So it's a breakout. Then all of this thing right here was nothing more than just a retest. You may ask if this candle or this candle is a short signal. Well, this one is definitely not, because it's nowhere near the session high. It's not a nice strong red candle. So it's not, this one is fairly okay, but it's not, I mean, you can easily see that this candlestick is, you wouldn't say that, yes, this is a nice strong red candle, selling pressure, yeah? I mean, it's a valid candle, but there is no movement, momentum in this candlestick, yeah? So I would ignore such candlesticks, yeah? Then we had a bit of consolidation, some indecisive price action right here over these few candlesticks, and then a strong bullish comeback. Yeah. So what happened here? It's a break, retest, all of this, and then continuation candlestick back above the session high. So this is a nice strong bullish candle. It closed above both of the EMAs, and it came after the break retest continuation. Yeah, so this is a valid long entry. So you took an entry here, stop loss just a bit below the entry candle low in this case. And then for the rest of the day, pretty much the market went sideways. It's indecisive price action, nothing too interesting happened here. So I had to manually close this position in this case because it's the end of US session. This candle was, I believe, the last US session candle, and then midnight and Asian session begins, my time zone at least. So basically, you had to take this position and close it manually. So that's why I logged 0.2% because that's something like that is banked. Next trade, a successful one, and this one is a way better entry. So what happened here? We were super close to being stopped out, and maybe even on some brokers, depending on your spread, this would be a stop loss, depending on the broker. Yeah, but well, on this a trading view chart, we survived, so that's why I kept it as a success. So what happened once again, I believe you can now tell me the entry because we had session high, we had session low. London first candle confirmed breakout of the session low. Now we need a retest and continuation for short or a comeback back above for a rejection. Next candle, a retest of the session low, nothing too interesting yet. And then followed by the next candle, which is a rejection candle. It rejected the session low, came back above the session low with a nice, fairly strong green candle, closed above both of the EMAs, even though by a fraction kinda, but it's still a visually a valid closure above both of the EMAs. And then you took the trade, stop loss slightly higher on this one, but still it could be even higher, to be honest, when you see what happened. But when you don't know, it just was a pure luck that the stop loss was here and it was not actually achieved on this spike. Most people, I would say, would place the stop loss somewhere here, so this would be sadly a stop loss. But well, we have what we have in this case, and we had some bullish momentum, then a complete reversal pushed all the way back to the downside, and basically moments before the US session it started to pick up once again and show this bullish rally, and with this spiky candlestick, in this case a take profit was achieved. So yeah, it's just one of those trades. Let's go to the next one. Okay, the next one. Once again, I can easily expect you to say what's wrong with the entry, even though it's a valid one. But keep in mind that, yeah, we had a session high. As you can see, I don't mark session low because we had such an active bullish push throughout the Asian session that in this case on London opening the session low doesn't make any sense. It's not within the game, it's not for reference, so basically we can I just skipped marking it, yeah, because it doesn't make any sense here. So what happened, we had this candlestick of an entry, we had a retest or actually a breakout of the session high followed by immediate rejection, then a few candlesticks of nonsense, nothing interesting. This one is fairly okay to enter as well, but this one is better. It's better because it's bigger, it actually holds more selling pressure, so you can say that it's a nice strong red candle, yeah, selling candle. But the problem is that it's not at the session high once again. So you can take these trades when you have some profits locked, when you can afford to take a loss, yeah. So, and because we had a few already successful trades before on the month of February, we were able to take the risk and actually take this trade because this candle looks really good. It's below the EMAs, It's a nice rejection candle, strong wick also here. The only problem is it's not exactly at the highs. But once again, I believe you know the concept by now. So it's a trade, and basically it's a fairly straightforward trade. It went nicely and aggressively downside and achieved the take profit level. Yeah. Okay, next trade. This one is a loss. Yep. So what happened here? Once again, a very nice setup. It just ended up in a stop loss. So we had a session high, session low, London, first candle. It's right here, so nothing too much of an interest. Next candle, retest or of the session high, followed by the breakout. Then we had few candlesticks of indecision, followed by this big red candle, which is a retest. Yeah, this is a break. These two are not retesting the session high. This one retested. It's not a short because we haven't closed below both of the EMAs. It's just pretty much sitting at the EMA. And the next candle, continuation. So this is why it's a valid long entry. Nice strong green candle, buying pressure, closed above both of the EMAs, and it's basically above the session high after the break and retest. So this is a continuation candle. That's why you are able to take the long here. This candle, this one is even better. It's a very strong rejection candle, continuation candle. Yeah, above EMAs, big, solid bullish pressure forming. But eventually, even if you took here or here, what happened? We had some indecisive movement, so the momentum was lost at these prices somewhere between 9050 9060, and then we had a reversal and a pretty aggressive bearish move. So this was a loss, followed by another loss, as I can see. Yep. Session high, session low. First few hours of London session, we had a breakout, a retest, and a comeback. So this is not a break, a retest continuation. Here and here, no positions because we are not above the EMAs. This one, we are above the EMAs, but we are way too far from the session low to even consider this an entry. And then we had a comeback, another retest, and this is a nice rejection from the session low. Nice strong bullish candle above the EMAs and after the rejection. So all three elements are met. So it's a valid long position. And then basically what happened, followed by right after the entry, few candlesticks, and we are out. It's just one of those days and one of those trades. Nothing to worry about here. Okay, followed by 2%, which means that it's been a slow trade and we had to close it manually at the end of the US session. The entry, session high, session low. First few candlestick retested the session low. It's right here. It's a breakout. No retest continuation, and this is a rejection candle. So what happened here? Nice strong green candle above the EMAs. Also, after a rejection of the session low, it's basically a simple valid long position. So you took the trade. For the most part, for the next few hours, it's a pretty messy sideways movement, and beginning of the US session, it started to pick up. So you was very close to the take profit area, but eventually it continuously moved sideways, and by the end of US session, it's basically sitting here. So it's a 2%, maybe even a bit more than 2%, 2.1, 2.2, but you have to close it manually because this is the end of US session and you never leave your positions overnight. Next trade, another slow one. It's a short one position. So we had session high, session low, first London candle breakout, retest, continuation. Beautiful. As you can see, break, retest, continuation. We rejected all the way this session low. So we had a nice, very strong red candle below the EMAs, below the session low after the break and retest. So all of the elements are met. So you took a short here. Market came back a bit and then aggressively moved lower. Unfortunately, the take profit was a bit too much to ask in this case. And then we saw a rejection, consolidation, and a comeback back above within the US session. So this could be also a break-even trade, because here we are way more than halfway point till the take profit, so you're able to move your stop loss to break even. And in this case right here, you would be out at break even, so no loss for you, which is always good. But in backtesting phase, you should not apply this rule, I would say, because you are backtesting, you are gathering the information, you're gathering data, so you need as much as possible. So in this case, it's a possible break even, but let's lock it as 0.2%, because at the end of US session, it's still open and it's pretty much sitting at 0.2% profit. Next trade, a successful one. Yep, and a very beautiful one, pretty much the same as the last one. We had the session high, session low, break, retest, continuation. Beautiful, yeah? So the candle is a nice solid red candle below the EMAs, and after the break and retest occurred, this is a continuation candlestick. So we took a short, stop loss just a bit above the high of this candle, and it's basically straightforward, moved all the way to the downside without giving us any kind of nerves wracking experience, yeah, while it's messing right here. So it's just completely straightforward, dropped all the way to the take profit area. Next trade right here. Once again, pretty much the same entry as the last two. Let me zoom in. Session high, session low. Once again, London, first few candlesticks, nothing too interesting. Then break, retest, continuation. Easy. Below the EMAs, below the session low after the break and retest. Nice, strong, solid red candle. Took a short. It went nicely. Then US session reversal back to the session low, and then back below, and eventually it's out at pretty much a midway point, which is at about 1.5%. Simple. Next trade, a successful one, and once again pretty much the same entry. Now this is the session low, session high you can't even see, because I believe it was a very aggressive downside session. So yeah, what happened here? That's a retest, that's a breakout, that's in a way a retest and continuation at the same time, but I would always like to see something bullish as a retest. Yeah, when you have like a break, an actual retest, a comeback, and then continuation. This candle is a valid one, but once again, this is one of those trades where you have to take it if you're feeling confident and you can afford to take a bit of a riskier position. Yeah, in this case, I decided to skip one more candle, and this was a comeback candle, but it's not above the EMAs, so there is no long position here, followed by the next candlestick that actually confirmed me to go short, because it's now a very clear break, retest, all of these two, and continuation. Nice solid red candle below the EMAs and below the session low after the break and retest occurred. So it's a better short position than this candle, yeah. So it's always better to wait. basically, if you are not sure if the entry is good enough, just wait one more candle. Just see what happens. Yeah, you may miss it and it completely went off. It's okay, but you may actually find it better. You may find a better entry, or you will notice that because you waited one more candle, just be sure you actually save yourself from a loss. Yeah, so it's better be safe than sorry, yeah, for a loss. So yeah, what happened here? Same thing. Nice break, retest continuation, and we dropped pretty straightforward as well. First part of US session, we are already at the take profit area, and the last trade of the month on the last day, and it's a loss. Session high, session low. London, first few hours, nothing interesting at all, just a complete mess. Then we had a break, followed by rejection. So no retest continuation. It's a break and and a rejection. Nice solid green candle back above the EMAs, back above the session low after rejecting the session low. So it's a great and a valid long position. And what happened next? Few candlesticks in, reversal and stop loss. It happens, all good, nothing to worry about here. One of those trades. So yeah, that's it for February. I believe now your entries are becoming better and better, and you're starting to understand the concept behind every single entry. Okay, so let's continue going through the trades, and I will see you guys on the next episode.